There's been a number of times I've doubted whether I could keep going and whether I should just pack up and walk away and just give up.
I love you.
Yes,
I love you, Fozzie. Yes, I love you, Dad.
It's been a long journey. There's been plenty of setbacks in amongst it, and I've had to claw my way back each time from injuries and surgeries and get myself going time and time again. And
one that stands out is resilient.
Competitor? Yeah.
You know, the toughness that he's shown over the course of his career.
Oh, just passionate. You know, just someone who loves rugby league.
Hardworking, brave, fearless.
Great human being.
Yeah, if I'm describing Foz in one word, it'd be Kieran.
Loyal comes to mind, tenacious but tough.
You know, great father.
Perplex.
Incredibly gritty individual.
I'd probably say gladiator. Yeah, gladiator.
A bloke who has been through the absolute trenches, but bounced back to make something of himself and walk out on his own terms. It's pretty special. You know, what a story we can give the next generation.
Can't really remember too much other than, really enjoying my childhood. You know, loving family and super close to my two siblings. I was the youngest of three, so mum, dad, brother, sister, myself, and just falling in love with rugby league pretty early on.
At 11 and a half months, you know, we found that he was born with one kidney.
Probably made it a little bit interesting that I took to love a contact sport, knowing that I only had one kidney.
His dream was to play NRL, and having one kidney, even though people said it wasn't possible, he's defied all odds in that area.
I didn't try in too many subjects, but art was one of them. I could end up drawing for hours, you know. It was something that I really enjoyed doing. It sort of took me out of my thoughts and sort of into a cool place, and music was a bit the same. I actually took up the violin. Footy player coming through, and you know, I used to walk around school at times with a violin, which was it was quite unique. I went from one end of the spectrum to the other and took up the drums, but I think those two instruments in particular taught me some really valuable lessons in life about dedication and practice.
Greg and Sharon are a bit yin and yang. You know, Greg very focused, very driven. Sharon vivacious, friendly, always looking to meet people, always looking to bring them into the circle.
Yeah, people say I'm a perfect blend of both my parents. Oh, this has changed a little bit. It's funny, this pub here on the corner. So I remember being a young kid. We'll drive past it in a second. And my mum used to sing in bands, so her and my dad would end up taking us to the pub at night, you know, because Mum would be singing in the local band here. And look, it's still got live music there, look at that. Unbelievable. And we'd end up falling asleep under the table, you know. That was what it was like back in the day, so we'd be asleep under the tables in there. I remember as a really young kid, and Mum would be finishing off her performance. You know, I've got really happy memories of growing up in Amy Street and, you know, being a young kid there and riding my bike down the driveway and on a Saturday afternoon or Sunday afternoon climbing up onto the carport roof and, you know, with my lunch and actually watching the footy game being played down on Ellerslie Eagles. Yeah, 150 metres down the road.
The crowd welcomes the Auckland Warriors, and here they come.
Warriors had become the next best thing to the All Blacks. Boys got very, very excited about this. Everyone did. It was a natural thing for them having a league club just down the road. Warriors just launched for them to follow that.
That was where I first laced my first pair of boots and played my first games of footy, right here on this little mod field there, right there.
There you go, eh? Has it changed?
Nah, still exactly the same. Quite crazy when you think about it. It hasn't changed. Yeah. We'd play on these courts as a kid, you know, we'd play on the field. Yeah, well, that's where it all began and started, you know. The person I am or the rugby league player I am without having started at the Ellerslie Rugby League Club. Jeff Sturt was a wonderful family friend of ours, him and his wife Morag and their kids, and we grew up spending a lot of time with them, and Jeff had a wonderful love for the game of rugby league and he was involved and still is involved with Ellerslie to this day. It hasn't changed, has it, Jeff?
Not really.
Really?
No, it's been sort of licked up a little bit, but...
You look younger now.
People have
he
said
looks
that
after
to me.
himself now.
Yeah, I didn't look after myself in those days. I was too busy being a rat bag. Liam was the better footballer, my brother, as you can tell. No, wasn't he, Jeff?
Yeah.
Was he?
He was, yeah, no, he was very skilled.
We used to hide in the park here and throw water bombs at bloody cars coming past and things like that. We were always up to no good, weren't we?
You and your brother Liam's the same, like both of you were just natural defenders, like didn't have, I hardly had to teach you a thing.
Really?
Just, honestly, like it was but it came from inside, like it wasn't necessarily the technique, but the desire, the will was always there. Yeah.
Once I played league, that was it. I loved it straight away.
Yeah, so this is where you started, yeah?
Yeah, this is the field I started on. There you go, still here,
very
exactly the same. And I think I ran the wrong direction, Mum tells me.
Yeah, and you probably played with the sand in the middle of the field.
Yeah, she reckons I was playing with the mud in the middle of the field and I wasn't too interested, but nonetheless, I love the game. High five.
What number are you?
I'm number 7 on the weekend.
7?
Oh no, 6, I'm 6.
What's 7?
Thanks, boys. Thank you, thanks for having me. Thanks, boys. Very appreciative of you guys taking me out there and giving me that experience tonight. Just to go back there and obviously walk around the field with Jeff was pretty special, and that was where it all sort of started for me. So there's lots of young kids there that might be playing in the NRL and in the near future. So yeah, very cool.
When the Warriors were launched, and that carried across to Australia. And when we came to Australia, we moved to St Ives.
Went to St Ives North Primary School, and a few people had pointed out that Wayne Pearce's son went to the school, and the famous league player. And yeah, me and my brother ended up hitting it off with him straight away. We became best mates. Most afternoons we'd end up in a front yard footy game out the front of the house, absolutely pummeling one another. It's funny, like people talk about me and Pearce's journeys and sort of going on, and you could call it rugged defenders for halfbacks and sort of brave players that dig into the line. And we often reference that we grew up playing like front rowers in the front yard. We talk footy all the time about wanting to play NRL.
When he went to Maris Brothers at North Shore, they had a CCC cricket tournament. Kieran set a record for catching 7 catches in one match. I don't know if that's ever been conquered at Maris Brothers North Shore.
He ended up taking the boys to Asquith, which is a club on sort of the upper North Shore. I can remember the very first game, the ball's kicked off, it sails through the air, Kieran catches it and then runs through the entire team and scores. And the coach is standing there, turns to me with his jaw open, he says, "I think your son can play."
Been playing a club game for Asquith Magpies, and whether or not I landed on my collarbone, or I can't quite remember whether it got jammed up, but you know, I could barely lift my arm too much. And here I was going into my first major rugby league tournament, and I was desperate to make the Australian under-15 side, and being told by mum and dad to basically park the pain and to play my best footy. I did that. I was signed by my first manager at that time, Paul Sutton, and he actually tells me the story. He says that various recruitment officers from other clubs were sort of watching me and wondering something wasn't quite right there, and it wasn't until after that tournament I'd gone back and got scanned and had a proper MRI that, yeah, my collarbone wasn't just broken, it was shattered really in about 4 or 5 places, and from that point I was signed by an agent at sort of 15 and a half, and that was the start of, I guess, the next journey. played in a school carnival the following year. Crusher, Noel Cleal and Dave Warwick were there from Manly, the two recruitment officers. They had watched me play in one of the games there. They hit my agent up at that carnival and said they'd like to offer me a 2-year contract. At that stage of my life in Korea, that was a pretty big deal, and I was still in high school and I was just about to sign up a sort of 2-year junior contract with the Sea Eagles, which was going to give me that pathway to where I eventually wanted to get to. I'd gone to the gym afternoon and I was squatting, about 120 or 30 kilo at the time. The bars, started to slide off my back as it does once you're getting fatigued, and I turned around and tried to catch the bloody bar, and my fingers got caught between the bar and the safety bars, and the next minute a couple of big bodybuilders next to me threw some towels over my hand and said, "Don't look," and the moment they said, "Don't look," I looked, as you do. And I saw bones and tendons sticking out from about 2 or 3 fingers, and it was a complete mess.
We were very lucky that night because we had the best hand surgeon. He said it was highly likely that Kieran would lose 4 of his fingers in that time. He would never hold a football again. 6 months later, he was playing again.
Yeah, no, it didn't hold me back for too long. I was back out there pretty quick. Progressed through that contract with Manly and then gone up to Jersey Flag, and under-20s comp came in 2008. That was my final year of high school. Played in that Toyota Cup team, I think it was then, with myself and Cherry Evans and another couple of blokes, one called Jared Warrior Hardgreaves and Jamie Burer, Darcy Lussick. There was a future first graders in that 20s team, and Manly signed me to a full-time contract. Started in pre-season pretty much the moment I left school. I was straight in there.
It was his first year. He came up to me in the gym and we were just doing this start of the season gym workout, and he was coming up talking tactics, and I'd come off the back of winning a comp for the first time, and I was just thinking, I'm just here just doing a bit of weights, easing into the season, and he was this young 18-year-old coming to me and going, "Oh, I love that 9 Jack Jill you play off the back of good ball shaped matty, and I'm looking forward to getting out the back and playing off the back of that." And I was just like, who is this young whippersnapper coming and talking to me like he's been here for 10 years? And it wasn't arrogant, it was just pure joy for the game and confidence in what he was going to bring to the team. Ever since that time, I've had full faith in him, and so's the rest of his teammates and his coaches, that he'll do a really good job for the team.
As a young bloke, I was eager to learn, eager to earn their respect, and didn't want to say too much, although I probably did to Matty in the gym that day.
I just remember some of the senior players at the time, mentioning Fozza and his name at that stage, and he'd come through the juniors and was a standout through the junior comps with Manly.
I was in awe of the guys I was training with, and every single week. I just wanted to earn their respect, try and get my way into first grade, get my shot, get my opportunity, and felt I could do that was if I trained as hard as I could through the week, and then played really good footy for the 20s on the weekend. And round 15, 2009, they had a few injuries, and ended up, getting told that I was going to debut for the Manly Sea Eagles. Unbelievable feeling, unbelievable. You work your whole life, 18 and a half I was, and I'd worked so hard and I was so dedicated, and to be told by Des that I was going to be debuting was unbelievable. He came up to me as he does in his quirky ways, and he said, "Guess what?" And I said, "What?" And he said, You're gonna be making your debut this week." He said, "You can't tell anyone." He said, "I'm going to name you in jersey 19 so they don't know you're playing." I said, "Can I even tell my family?" And he said, "Yeah, you can tell them, but just no one else." And 18 and a half I was, and I'd worked so hard, and I barely slept that week, just with excitement and nerves, and to get a start playing in the NRL alongside guys I'd looked up to and idolised, and now I was going to be playing for Desi in the big time was, it was great.
And the Manly Sea Eagles at Brookvale. It's Kieran Foran on screen. Teenager, 18 years of age. He is on debut today for the Sea Eagles. And the first kick to the young bloke, Foran.
I accidentally passed the ball on 5th tackle to a forward just going through, and it was Glenn Hall, and he got the ball and then he offloaded it to Fozza or someone, and then they made a break, and Fozza's passed to Tony Williams, I think, on the left, and then Fozza backed up and scored a try.
Great pass for Foran. He's inside the 20. This is a miraculous try for Manly. A kid on debut has finished it off. Kieran Foran. Someone tell them it's the last tackle, then again, who cares?
Well, they don't, and I'd say that is Kieran Foran's second touch of the football in the top grade.
And so I take credit for Foz's first try by stuffing up and passing the ball to Glenn Hall. It was a set play.
He poked his head back and had that famous run.
He was ready, and he was not going to let anybody down.
I leapt from my seat, screaming and yelling.
I remember just walking back thinking, you've got this. You belong here. This is exactly what you're meant to be doing and where you're meant to be. And it just allowed me to, I guess, really play my heart out for the rest of the game. I was confident. Yeah, walked off the field and couldn't have been happier. We got the win and it was just a great debut.
We knew that he was bound to be a really solid player in the NRL for a long time, and that game just typified it for us.
The perfect coach for me at that time of my life was going to be Des Hasler. I just remember just being so blown away by his intensity, attention to detail. He never did give me too many pats on the back, and I didn't need that, I didn't want that. And so when the sprays came and the blow-ups, he demanded more of me constantly. When I gave him my best, he wanted more. And I think I loved that. He made me the footballer that I was meant to become. He shaped me really in those pivotal years.
He was that next wave of young players coming through.
There's a lot of Kiwi boys that go to Australia and they want to play Origin. He wanted to be a Kiwi. He wanted to be, one of us, and that just shows what the game in New Zealand means to him.
As a young kid, it was none other than Stacey Jones and Ruben Wiki and, Henry and Robbie Paul and guys like that. They were my absolute idols as a young Kiwi boy, watching them play. Envisioned one day being like them. I think Stacey Jones, I don't know if you've heard the story, but I read his autobiography about 80 times and knew every word off by heart. I went around telling people at school he was my uncle, asking people to ask me any question they could about him because I knew the answers. Stacey was considered the little general. I remember watching him as a kid, put that Kiwi team on his back and carry them through some wonderful contests. And it gives you an indication, I guess, of my obsession with rugby league and Kiwi players, even from a young age.
We had a tour to the UK at the end of 2009 and declared that he wanted to play for New Zealand. And I think his Manly teammate got injured at Stevie Maddai at the Fro Foz and he played in the centres. I sort of threw him in the deep end, it's the last game of the tour.
I wasn't ready. I played 9 NRL games and here I was running out for my country, playing England in the semi-final of the Four Nations in the centres. So I put everything into it. It was all heart. The opportunity had come and I was going to grab it with both hands and it was really, really special.
Right from there, I knew that he's someone that's going to have a long career in a black and white jumper.
My first memories of Ches was actually in 20s. The coach at the time, Dave Penner, had said, we've got a young blonde-headed skinny boy coming down from Mackay that's a pretty handy halfback and he's going to play alongside you in the 20s team. And that was Daly. And I remember him coming to training and, we just hit it off straight away.
He was very quiet, very unassuming. He just had this intensity about him whenever we did anything. I can't honestly say I knew we were going to be great friends. Was sure as anything that he was going to be an NRL player. I wanted to stay as close to him as possible to learn. I think that's where we started to connect, was through our obsession with trying to make it to the NRL and trying to get better. And
that was what it was like the day we stepped onto the footy field, even in 20s. There was a great understanding of his strengths and my strengths and our weaknesses and how we complemented one another's games.
They really complemented each other and they played so much footy with each other that they read each other really well, and that was probably what was so unique.
It was definitely a bit of a comfort blanket for me getting my NRL debut. It was certainly something that I was extremely nervous about. Knowing he was on the other side of the field and that we'd done it so many times before, he was definitely someone that gave me a lot of comfort going into first grade. And, his words of assurance before we were playing, telling me that I'm going to be fine, just a little thing like that, but coming from someone that you really care about and someone that you value, it means a lot. So, he was definitely a big part of me settling into first grade.
By the time he got to NRL in 2011, he was so ready for it. It just felt like he was going to come in and just completely dominate and be able to take us to glory, and he did exactly that.
They were playing the Warriors, and of course we were Kiwis.
I mean, what a coincidence, you know. Here I was about to play in my first NRL grand final. It was going to be against the side that I dreamt of playing for as a young kid.
The grand final of 2011.
Because a lot of Kiwis were cheering for the Warriors, but they were all cheering for Kieran.
I bled maroon and white, and, you know, we were going to be coming up against a pretty handy Warriors outfit that had played really well throughout that year, and my focus was solely on producing my best game possible for the side and making sure that I didn't waste the opportunity, because I'd been told by the guys around me that they don't come round too often, and when you're playing a grand final you want to make sure you win it, and yeah, we all played, you know, as well as we could have that day.
We're two 21-year-olds playing in a GF, two proud Kiwis. It's like we were connected already. He was just someone I certainly admired and had a lot of respect for.
So welcome to the fire. The grand final of 2011. Inside perfectly to Stewart from Cherry Evans, and Brett Stewart has scored. It's come to Foran. It's gone to Cherry Evans. They're building on number 6 and 7. Cherry Evans. Cherry Evans has scored.
We actually had to mark each other, right? So I had to deal with his aggression, the speed in which he caught the ball over the ad line and would just come at you straight away. He played so deep into the line every time. He was always going to make you make honest reads and have to acknowledge him firstly before you're worried about anyone else. So yeah, it was something that I had to wrap my head around fairly quick.
So welcome to the fire. Lines a fly up. He batted down to Cherry Evans. Cherry Evans to Humperdinck. He flicked past it. Glenn Stewart had scored.
In the tank, you wouldn't think.
Glenn Stewart, he gets it away for JD Lyon to score. The siren sounds and Manly have won the grand final.
We were surrounded by an amazing coach and an amazing playing group. We really were just riding the wave of the older boys that year, but if that's how you got to win a comp, then that's how you got to win a comp, right? So,
pretty surreal experience. I certainly didn't expect it to come this quick in my career, but it's just unbelievable.
The bigger they are, harder they fall.
I got branded the hand of God.
Now is it touched there by Kieran Foran?
First probably introduction into and being talked about in not such a positive way.
The ball bounces and it's all over the place, and Jamie Lyon is with it. Referee said 6 more tackles. It's play on, and Manly will appeal for a try.
I think we got awarded the try, didn't we?
There's the try, benefit of the doubt.
Quite a big controversy after the game about my hand touching the ball.
Well, I thought Foran touched it. So did I.
I think Thurston wasn't too happy about it.
On the all contest,
it didn't touch Foran's hand.
That's where the benefit of the doubt is, okay?
It didn't touch his hand.
He can't clearly say that it was touched by him.
Twice. We've been robbed, mate. That's twice.
That's fine. That's what he's called.
Oh, I'd just gone up to bat the ball back. It wasn't my fault.
Did he get a touch to that kick or not?
No, I seriously didn't. I tried to bat it back, and Thursto's hand came up, and he got there before me, so yeah, fair try.
Do you think they were tries? No, I don't think they were, but how did you find it? Honestly,
It was a bit hard, that angle, to see at the time. To be 23 and playing in a second grand final, you probably think you got a few more of these to come yet. Like it hurts. I struggle to watch the game back, to be honest with you.
Of the 2013 Telstra Premiership final, the ultimate prize waits at the end of this.
To think all these years on, that was 2013, it's now 2025, and I've never played in another grand final since.
Here's Foran out the back, Brett Stewart, Steve Maddai, Tafua.
We're in such a great position to win that game, 58 minutes in, I think we were up 18-8. We clocked off not long after that, and the Roosters had quality of players and outfit to capitalise and come home with the wind behind their backs and score a number of tries. So that, stings.
2014 was special, and the way Foz carried himself, he won't say that. I roomed with Foz for the month, and that's where we became tight. It was a special run for us. We got the Aussie side twice in that campaign, but it's the moments outside of that, eh? After games, boys would go out and we would kip up in our room and we'd get a bottle of wine, get a block of chocolate, you know, and here we are, 23, 24. Yeah, we enjoyed a beer, but it was the times we stayed in. People joined us in our room and we'd just decompress through a glass of red or two and eat some nice chocolate. He's such a competitor that he would just have me wanting to play like days before the game, walking around his bed going, you know, like I'm good enough, you know, like you could feel the tension in his tone. Days before we'd taken the field, and I'm going, son, relax, you know, let's build into this thing. As much as I'm pumping up, Cobb, and if you watched this, here we go, how about this one? You remember this one? Remember we were playing 2015, we were playing them in the Anzac Test. He's talking to me in the room going, oh, God, you know, I can't wait, you know what, they think they're going to play thigh day short on me. Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do, I'm going to dip and I'm going to drive him straight away. Talking himself up, getting him feeling himself. And the game rolls round, lad, and you go watch back the first try of that game.
Goes out to Cronk, short into thigh day. He's going to get his second try.
Pretty much steps on his chest on the way to the try line. And then we come back, we win the game, so all's well, we're laughing. I remember going up to him after the game and going, remember when you told me you were going to sink that shoulder into thigh? Eh? He goes, what about that, son? What about that, son? Far out, Jesus, didn't he run over me there? You know, and he could play to it. So, yeah, that's the Foz I'll know, and it's Foz I'll always have time for.
I think at 2015 it was starting to probably unravel a bit for me in terms of my personal life.
I guess the part that I didn't know at the time, probably how hard he was doing it away from footy in the same period.
Kieran lived for 24 hours. We didn't know whether he would. It was a moment in your life as a mum. I don't think I've ever prayed so hard in my life.
It was about to get really, really tough for me through that next period. It was never worth making a decision like that.